Hey, everybody. You're listening to the Mixed Nuts Podcast. I'm Phil Hirsch, along with my pal Richard Marks, here to discuss what's going on in this mixed up world. So relax and sit back, grab a beverage, and a handful of mixed nuts. No telling where the conversation may go. Follow us on all social media and our YouTube channel, Mixed Nuts Nation. You have to be crazy to listen.
Good morning, everybody. Mixed Nuts Podcast here, Mixed Nuts Nation. What did I screw that up right out the gate? Hey, Phil. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Rich. How's everything in beautiful Ohio, the Buckeye State? Probably cold.
You know, every day it snows every goddamn day, and I'm so upset because my wife promised me that when we moved to Ohio that it never snowed here.
Oh wow,
she lied.
Well, I guess Puxtahani Phil saw his own shadow, so you've got 6 more weeks of the white stuff.
You know, I had a feeling
Did I say that right?
Yesterday was a bright sunny day, so that usually means cold weather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've had it here too in Florida. This is the coldest winter we've had since December of 2010.
Yeah.
So we got into the 30s.
Yeah. Like there was always like a little, every once in a while you get a spurt of 3 or 4 days, but this has been going on for about almost like 3 weeks where you've had like this really cold air pouring in. You know, it's okay during the day. It's normal. It's chilly, but it's normal. But at night, right? That's when it's really been crazy.
Here's what's interesting. New Year's Eve, as you know, I work New Year's quite often. And in Miami, it was quite blustery and frigid, but nothing compared to what we just saw recently in the last couple of days. So we've hit not only the low 30s, but there are signs on I-95 as well as Alligator Alley that state, quote unquote, bridges may ice before the road. Use caution and freeze warning in effect. And I'm like, oh my God, when was the last time I ever saw that on an electronic sign? Never. That is the first. So I was lucky. I was able to get a picture of it stuck in traffic. And you talk about a nice little keepsake. It's really something. And
well, I saw somebody posted on one of the platforms a picture of some farms that were up in northern Florida that actually were covered in ice and snow. I mean,
that's right.
Crops. Yeah. And so they were like right in the crosshairs of this cold snap. And who knows what, I mean, you'll see some prices. I imagine all that stuff's probably destroyed, I would think.
Sadly, you know, there's nothing you can do. You can only water.
Citrus too.
You can only spray a garden hose on citrus and put plastic bags over it for so long. But when the temperature's in the teens and the low 20s, not to mention having a wind chill factor of 0 or 5 degrees or whatever the case is, you're going to feel it. And we're all going
to Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. So when people say Florida does not get cold,
and of course, you know, you have to have your iguana stories and all the falling iguanas. And that's a great name for a rock band, by the way.
Falling iguanas. Yeah, I agree.
And, but everyone's like gathering them up, throwing them, like harvesting them up and bringing them in to these, I guess the FWC, I think it's called or something like that. But are they now, what I also heard about them is that they're considered an invasive species.
They are.
Which usually when you say invasive, that's not a good connotation.
That is true.
Are they harvesting all these iguanas and then destroying them, or are they just like warming them up and giving them a cup of coffee?
I think they're getting a cup of Joe, a cafecito or something. You know, they are
warming up. Warm you up, you know.
Yeah, a lot of them fall asleep. They're not dead. Now, if the temperature is below a certain,
they paralyze.
Yeah, if the temperature is below a certain degree, obviously in northern Florida, that's a different story because northern Florida has a different winter compared to the rest of the state. Now, central Florida is in between and also gets quite cold. But, you know, southern Florida for us to be in the 30s is really unheard of. Very rare. I mean,
people probably have heaters that they don't even know are broken or not even like hooked up until like this week or last week. And now like, wait a second, this thing on the wall says cool on one side, fan, and then it says heat, but yet the heat doesn't work.
Well, that happens a lot. I'm using my heater, but you see what's nice is being in my own little studio, it's automatically warm in here. So I'm not cold at all. It's great. It's the blankets retain the heat, the moving blankets and the foam and everything else I have. So that, you know, does make a difference.
Well, our friend Becky Skiba Mancini, who's
Oh,
been a
remember
guest on
Becky?
our show a
Yeah,
couple times,
long
she
time
was
ago.
donning the sweater yesterday. She looked
Oh,
quite nice in it as well. But she was
hmm.
wearing a nice heavy sweater and looking
Yeah.
all Michigan,
Oh, yeah.
Michigander, where she's from,
The
as you
Michigan.
recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
So
people
I
don't.
think it adds some color to an otherwise
Yeah.
monotonous, warm, landscape. It's always warm. Warm. Sometimes it's unbearably hot,
Oh,
but
you're
it's
telling me.
always warm. You move to Florida for that reason, so that
Yeah.
in January you have 75 degrees during the day and
Hmm.
maybe 60 at night, but you don't
Yeah.
expect to be 25 at night. But
No, like you don't expect the high to be in the low 50s.
yeah,
And then all
yeah,
of a sudden you're like 32, you're freezing.
yeah.
And it's even colder in Alligator Alley. If you're taking I-75, you can see frost on the ground. You see those signs.
Oh yeah.
Bridges may ice before roads. Use caution. Freeze warning in effect, and you see that everywhere. But even, Alligator Alley, I would expect that because it's far more inland. It's closer to the Gulf. But oh, look at that! Subscribe, please. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I have a little blimp, a little tiny submarine blimp. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a helicopter. My God, I was like, ooh,
The little Beatles on the beach, little Beatles
exactly.
on the beach accent
In the
there from Daniel Hartwell,
town where
his
I
big
was
festival.
born. Exactly.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
just figure to throw that in there. One thing I always neglect to do, and
Yeah,
every podcast I watch on YouTube, I watch too
sure.
many, as my wife would attest to.
No, that's okay.
They're always at the beginning saying, "Hey, if you like what you see here, you're enjoying the content, please
Subscribe,
like
hit
and
that bell.
subscribe,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
check out our podcast
And our
on the
content.
audio stuff. You're in the car, you can't watch
Hmm.
Spotify and Apple and all the other hosts of
Yeah.
podcast platforms that we exist on.
Yeah.
Just
And
look
by
up
the way,
Mixed Nuts Nation.
how is that mRNA pasta sauce doing? Because the spot was actually, it turned out much better than I thought.
Oh, it sounds great on the episode 32. I think it was
Oh,
like
no kidding.
right after the intro. And feel free to listen to your own podcast, Phil.
I do. I've heard it.
Okay.
I've heard it a few times. Trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah, it was edited nicely. So, we have
Oh,
the intro runs, and then it goes right into the did get a copyright strike, sadly, on the for YouTube on
oh,
the use
you
of
did.
the music, but who cares? We're not
Oh,
monetized anyway, so it
jeez.
doesn't really affect us.
Oh,
But
wow.
it was really clean, came through really well, and then of course
Okay.
we launched right in. So
It's weird. It's a parody for crying out loud.
yeah,
That's why YouTube really takes it to an extreme. It's almost like they target people who do parodies. And I've done parodies where I've used Italian music. Yeah, what was the one that I did? Polly's Passports. I used Italian music. Now, at the time, I believe it was non-copywritten, and I posted and I thanked the gentleman for creating the music. And I said, this is a parody called Polly's Passports. I even shared the link on his page. He liked it. He thought it was funny. So, but I was lucky. I had good Italian music for that spot. It was absolutely perfect. When I first heard it, I said, yep, this is like a match made in heaven. Sometimes you have to marry the music with the audio and the spot, and it, could sound good. And I thankfully was pretty decent at that when I worked in radio, way back when at a radio station that will be undisclosed. But it's all good. So I
doesn't
wanted
even
to
actually exist
share.
anymore.
I wanted to share with you guys and our esteemed audience the my recent nightmarish travel experience. And well, this is why my voice sounds like Barry White this morning. You'll never find, it's so weird. It's like, you're my everything. It's weird. Wow, it's kind of cool to do that. I mean, if someone said, "Hey, can you sound like Jack Nicholson?" It's like, "Welcome to Jack in the Box. Can I take your freaking order?" That now I've got it down
Yeah,
perfectly.
but the raspiness helps.
Oh, you're telling me it's like you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Someone just put me in a submarine. So this is scary. I was in
Something Red
California,
October.
I was, working on a production in the state of California, and I got back from Ontario, and getting there was no problem. I took Fort Lauderdale to Phoenix to Ontario Airport. My first time flying into Ontario. It's actually a really decent airport, very underrated, kind of like Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. Great airport. It really is. Miami International, not so much. And LAX, same thing. Big problems in
Yeah,
both.
yeah, totally.
So on the way back, I'm supposed to fly from Ontario to Dallas. We get diverted. We go to Houston. We fuel up, and there was a delay getting back from Houston to Dallas. We did ultimately land, but I missed my connecting flight. So now you're stuck on the tarmac for a good hour and a half, and it starts snowing. And I shot video of the snow. The ground was ice. You could see the snow like moving on the runway, when it starts blowing snow and it's windy. And I'm thinking, okay, there's no way we're getting out. I just knew it. You could tell the writing was on the wall. So we finally disembark. We leave the tarmac, and there's like a 2 to 3 hour wait. Hundreds of people waiting to speak to a human being because you can't use the app, the American Airlines app, and I'll say the airline, I have nothing to hide here,
Yeah.
is useless. It is like Windows 95. It's like the Commodore 64, if I can date myself here. They were ahead of their time at one point, but just useless. They really are. And so you're waiting and you're talking to people, but I have to say, a majority of the reps at American had attitude. They just were not friendly. They were screwing up royally. And I understand you have a shortage of staff, but let me just explain to our audience. Dallas is a hub for American. Now, if your hub cannot get it together, you should not be flying, period. And this is where they royally screwed the pooch. So they were booking people on flights that were never meant to take off. Those flights were going to cancel inevitably. And the old definition of do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. So I had to think outside the box, but I had a little bit of help. You get to know people in airports. You get to speak to people. I saw some ugly things too. I saw fist fights breaking out because, yeah,
Wow.
I did. Now, when that happens, you need to get out of there. It's a very volatile situation, not to mention everyone's coughing and sneezing. The lack of sleep could really do a number on your immunity. And this is why I'm sounding the way I am
Sounds like
right
a
now.
Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, it is. It's like, picture this, if you will. Exactly. So, and it was like a Twilight Zone. So the first
You
night,
land, but you never
you
take
never
off.
could take off. So imagine this. I arrive, I disembark like everybody. That would be that first night. That would be Sunday night. And we're waiting. Flight keeps being delayed every 30 minutes. And I just said, it's not going to take off. I know it. Then comes 1:45 a.m. early Monday morning, and they finally say there are no flights taking off.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's past
Yeah. Oh,
the
totally. There's no way
FAA.
they're going to do a red eye is usually around 10 o'clock, 11. That's
Yeah.
it. So, and I've done enough red eyes in my life to know that. And so I receive an email from American, to their credit. You have a free hotel stay, you have an Uber voucher, and you also have a meal voucher. Now, understand that the hotel was free, which was great, but I only spent 3 hours there because by the time you're at the hotel and you take the Uber, keep in mind the roads were impassable. The high was below freezing, the low was single digits to 10 degrees.
Wow.
That snow and ice was not melting. And there was only,
Did you even bother trying to sleep at all?
well, here's what happened. There was one lane open on a major expressway, so everyone was in one lane. It was the middle lane. The side lanes were just covered in snow and ice, and there was
Yeah.
probably enough salt just for that lane. And even that lane was not perfect. Like when you're driving, you can feel the ice and the compacted snow underneath, and you're like, oh my God, are we going to hydroplane? And Uber drivers didn't want to drive. They're like, okay, if I drive and pick you up, I'm charging you $100, even though I was 12 miles away. And that's what we did. So I still had to pay out of pocket. It still cost me. I mean, most of the Uber ride was covered, thankfully. And I got back, it's 2, 3 in the morning. And then you take the first morning flight. Like first you have to wait. And then once you get your flight booked, that's when you can go outside, take the Uber, get to your hotel. So you're talking sleeping 3 hours. You're not eating at the hotel. You don't have time.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, Monday, I get to the airport and then they cancel the flight. So now my morning flight is canceled. Then I have to wait in line again another 2 to 3 hours, and then it's an afternoon flight at 1:30. Well, guess what? That flight got delayed, delayed, delayed. Then that canceled. Then I tried to take a morning flight, could not. Nothing was available. So by the time you're waiting, this is Monday night. You're like, this is crazy. So they put me on a flight at 1:30 in the afternoon to PBI, Palm Beach International. Not my airport, but I would
Right.
have done it. And I just said it's going to cancel. If I was a betting man, you just know it. There's certain trends in an airport. They just did not have the personnel. Here's the worst part. There was an American Airlines flight attendant that wanted to volunteer and work on that flight. He was well rested. He had his tablet with him. He had his uniform. He had all his paperwork in order. He said, I want to go to Miami. He lives in New York. He wanted to go to Miami. They would not authorize him to go on the flight. So now you have a shortage of flight attendants and crew, and they did nothing about it. They could have ended that crisis, if you will. We could have left on that Monday. In fact, we were lied to. We were told, "Oh yeah, we have enough crew. You guys are going to take off tonight." Never happened.
No, they're all clearly way understaffed. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they've been
So here's the silver
like three,
lining, and this
four
is
years.
yeah, yeah. And I'm going to tell this to everybody. What you need to do if you're ever stuck in an airport is fly standby. So what I did was got my flight booked to PBI. I knew it was going to cancel. I knew there was not enough crew, let alone pilots. And the following morning, and again, slept 3 hours, Monday night into Tuesday, woke up at 4 a.m., had to take the Skylink and get to a different terminal. And I'm waiting in line, and I look at the list of standbys, 47 people on that list. And I said,
Yeah.
odds are against me. But I did it, and they closed the flight. They had enough. They,
So were you flying alone?
no, I was not. So what happened was I went to the next gate at that point. I said, okay, they had enough people, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's try the next gate. The next gate had 25 people on standby, but it was a miracle. It was divine intervention. Most of those people of the 25 did not show up. They didn't. They just were on the standby list, but they didn't show up, which meant they lost confidence in American. And
Yeah.
I can't blame them because I certainly did. And because of that, I was able to get on that flight. I bypassed the standby list, got on the flight, flew, landed at Miami International. It was an absolute miracle. I mean, on minimal
Sounds
sleep.
like this is probably without a doubt the worst flying experience you've had in your life.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
previous worst experience was in '08 in the summer, where I had to get back to LA, and I flew from Miami International to Chicago to O'Hare. And I got there, but then there was a 4 hour flight delay and I missed everything. So at that point, I had to fly to Lambert and I was stuck in Lambert and I had a job the next day. I had a really decently high paying gig. So I called Southwest and I was on the phone and Southwest booked me to LA from Lambert. From Lambert, I flew to Vegas, from Vegas to LAX. And then from LAX, it was 3 in the morning. I got home and I took a shuttle and it brought me, to where I had to go, where I parked my car. And then I probably slept about 3 or 4 hours, but I called my client. I said, I arrived safely. I will be at the gig. And thank God I did. But that was for me the worst flight. Now, United, to their credit, paid for it. United paid for my flight because I had to pay out of pocket. And they said, and I faxed the info over to them, shows you how long ago that was. And I mean, my God, what are we, 18 years ago? So with American, it was my worst experience I ever had while flying. And I would tell this to anybody, if you have a client out there and they're going to book you on American, reconsider. There are much better options available. American never even apologized. They never
Yeah.
sent follow-up emails. They never even said, we're going to give you a free travel certificate. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't wipe my ass with it, truth be told.
Those
So,
force majeure things where, they have
yeah.
an excuse, just
Oh,
blame the weather. Everybody, there
yep.
was massive situations like that all around the country. Nothing was leaving out of Cleveland, I'll tell you that.
And,
Um,
oh, I believe it. And you want to hear the funniest excuse? This kills me. You're going to love this, guys. Okay, you ready? So on American, one of the reps said, think of Dallas like Cancun with ice. And I'm like, what a crock of shit. Number one, Dallas gets ice storms every single year. They do.
Yeah.
And they do snow. It snows probably once every 5 years, but it is common and expected. I get northern Florida could snow too, not as often, but northern Florida gets ice at least once a year, I'm sure. And it might snow once every, oh, I don't know, 5 to 8 years, perhaps in northern Florida, maybe even more often than that. Because again, it's a different climate. They get those Alabama cold fronts. But Dallas is known for their ice storms. It's further north than Houston. It's always going to be colder. And it was expected. They saw it in the forecast. They were just so ill prepared. And the worst part was they had just the worst staff and their just ghastly customer service, if I can quote Simon Cowell. So grateful to be back in the Sunshine State, albeit it's cold today. I think our highs are going to be in the mid 60s, but we were like 38 this morning, something
Well,
like that. So yeah, it was pretty chilly. Um,
I'm accepting the fact that I'm not going to see 30 degrees for about 3 weeks because we're just in a uh, you might say it's kind of a historic cold snap we've had here. We're a good 15 degrees
mm,
under normal for this
oh
time of
wow.
year, and it's just relentless. It doesn't stop, and we're just snowed in. Like it's like the looking out the window, and I'm at the North Pole,
Oh
but
my God. You know what
I've
that reminds me
accepted it.
of? The Shining. Remember The
In fact,
Shining?
yeah,
That whole
it,
thing, they're all snowed
it's
in.
very, very reminiscent of. You look out the
Yeah,
window, it's funny, all my neighbors in the whole subdivision here, no
yeah.
one, I mean, no one has shoveled their sidewalks.
Oh my
So we
God.
have like a permafrost now. And I actually went at it with the snowblower on over the weekend
I
just to kind
was
of like,
I was
kind of
going to ask
just,
you about that. Now, do you guys have snow blower service or snow
no,
removal service?
no, I,
Do you know, I grew up in Montreal. We had such an incredible service. You know, those snowblowers would come and they would blow the snow onto your lawn. So you had a little hill where you could take a toboggan and you would, do your thing. I'm just kind of surprised. Like even New York is understaffed and unprepared, and they get snow probably at least once every year, maybe 2 years. I don't know,
well,
but often enough, you know?
never more. I mean, the snowfalls here are never more than, you know, a typical snowfall would be maybe 4, 5, 6 inches. You don't get too many. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll get pounded once in a while, and then that's when everybody's out there just clearing the driveway
Yep.
so they get their cars out. But it's just odd because when I
You
back
guys,
in
mhm.
Pennsylvania, where we moved from, everybody did their sidewalks. I mean, regardless. In fact, there were a couple of
Yeah.
times I had one neighbor, God bless him, an older guy.
Mhm.
We lived on a corner, so we had a really long wraparound. So, it was a pain in the ass. It just went forever. And he
Yeah.
would get out there. He had nothing to do. He would just do the whole side of our street from one corner to the other and just blow our snow off he wouldn't do the driveway. I
Oh, no kidding.
wouldn't let him honestly because I mean,
Oh, wow.
but he had a great snowblower too, and it had
Mhm.
the plastic sheathing on either side,
Oh,
so
yeah, 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 yeah.
he
So
could be
this,
stand inside of it and just go all the way down. It did a great job, and I returned the favor many a time.
yeah.
I'd actually do his driveway when
Mhm.
I'd get my ass out there to do it. But here it's
My, s-
like nobody
yeah.
seems to. It's not that high a priority, but. Um,
My sister has one, a
so
snowblower.
I'll skip ahead something real quick. I want
Sure.
to show you something. So these are the thoughts that I'm having these days right
Oh,
now.
yeah, please talk
Look at
to
this
me.
baby. I
Oh,
am like almost
oh,
like
wow.
95% sure I'm going to take the plunge. I'm a big fan of that Hot Works place.
Yes.
I quit months ago. I just wasn't going enough, and it's a little bit on the pricey side. But I would
Mhm.
love to get one of these babies and put it in my. I'll actually put it right next to my desk here where I'm doing the podcast from. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
actually do a podcast from inside the sauna. How would
Oh,
that
that
be?
would be intense. How much is that, by the way? I look at
It's
3,200,
not
19.
so. I mean, this one here.
How much? What are
I'm
we
not sure
talking?
if this is the one that I don't think this is the one that's
1580?
1900, but
Okay.
it says for 1 or 2 people. I would probably get the two-person
Yeah, of
full
course.
spectrum because my wife and I could
Yeah.
go in there together and
Hmm.
and we could do whatever you do inside a sauna, sweat and exercise
Well,
and
among other things. Yeah,
leave
for sure.
to your imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's funny.
it's one of these infrared deals with the light, and they have a
Mm.
Bluetooth system in there with speakers, so you can listen to a podcast like Mixed Nuts Nation while you're working
There you
out.
go.
Um,
Exactly.
but I mean, just to get that deep penetrative heat, you
Mm.
know. roughly at about, you can set these up to as high as 160, which
Oh
I
my
don't think I'd
God.
want being that hot. But when I was working out at Hotworks, I had mine set around 122. It
Yeah.
would go only as high as 130. I'd probably set it about 130 to 140.
Mm.
And you just sit in there. You could do some like put down your yoga mat and do some ab work and
Yeah.
maybe get the bands and do some resistance training, or
Sure.
just sit there, and throw a little bit of water on the.
Yeah.
You can get some steam going if you want.
There you go.
But
Oh,
oh
that's
my God, I
beautiful.
mean, it looked like from the videos, look like they're really easy to assemble. And but
Wow.
I mean, we've got plenty of room in this basement, honest to
Yeah, I
God.
was going to say the basement would be perfect for that for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So
it's that's the toughest thing about being snowed in. You can't really do a whole lot except indoor activities.
there's a
But
big
every city is different. Like Montreal has an underground city. So people can go shopping, they can go to
sure.
restaurants, they can watch movies. There's a lot they can do. And obviously in Montreal, it's like frigid, sub-zero temps and wind chills, blowing snow. They have what they call snow squalls. That's
Yeah.
what they call them now instead of blizzards. And yeah, you know it. It's kind of a frightening scenario to be stuck in. But let me tell you, when I was able to get out of Texas, it was a miracle. I mean, I kid you not. And even though it was going to get cold in Florida, didn't bother me. I just felt like I was back on hallowed ground. It's one of those things where you really do not take things for granted because, and I got to say this, a lot of the foreigners that were stuck in the airport, we had one lady she almost missed a funeral. Her dad passed and she
Yeah.
was distraught. And they extended the funeral for her, knowing what happened. And so she was able to make it, thank God, to her dad's funeral. But I can tell you what, I really felt if I was going to miss that standby flight, and if I did not wake up when I did, I might still be stuck there. And that's a scary thought to be stuck in an airport for like two
So when
weeks.
was that? Was that over the weekend?
No, that was the past weekend.
Oh, the past weekend. Okay.
Yeah, it was like Sunday. I was supposed to leave on the 25th, and I didn't end up getting back till the morning of the 27th. So that was the longest layover I ever had in my life, with just an inept attitude from the American Airlines customer service. They're just, like I said, one of the worst airlines on planet Earth. Quite
Well, I don't have.
frankly, they should be investigated by Congress. Not that that's ever going to happen, but they really should, and they should compensate every single person who they screwed over, and there were many of them. I don't even think I would use the free flight travel certificate. I just don't trust them. And moving forward, I will not be utilizing them
Well,
at
it's funny
all.
because my wife's a big Delta aficionado,
Yeah, I've flown Delta before. I've
and
flown
when we were
United,
down
and
in Florida to see you guys last
oh,
a
that's
couple weeks
right.
ago,
That was
we
amazing.
took connecting flights
Yeah.
to be able to use Delta. So we went from Cleveland to Atlanta down to
Mm,
Fort Lauderdale. And
yeah.
I'm of the mind, hey, let's get on the plane once up and down and use United, whatever was
Sure.
available. But she was insistent on using Delta, and we had a couple of close calls on the
Oh,
connections.
yeah.
All in all, it was fine.
Yeah.
But
Thank God.
but yeah, so hearing this story about American, she'd be
Mm.
sitting there saying, you see, that's why I stick with Delta. But honestly, they're all subject to their
Well,
own. I mean, the
I didn't
weather
have
is
a
the weather.
choice. American was covered by my client.
Yeah,
So I didn't pay for the flight. And that's the other thing. So when you have a production company paying for your flight,
yeah.
and I would tell them in the future, guys, if I'm ever back on your show or working on it, please do not use American. And I need to know which airline, and I don't care how cheap it is, but you're going to have to find an alternative. I mean, I'll give you an example. Even Spirit Airlines, not known for their thrills, they were batting 1,000. They got all of their flights out. Now, why is it that Spirit could, but American couldn't? That to me
Well,
is
I think
very
it's because
telling.
of the free chiropractic care you get by
No.
you get your seat kicked for 2 hours by
Oh, that is
a
true.
6-year-old with ADHD.
Yeah, your
And
lower lumbar.
chiropractors are expensive. So
Yeah, L3, L5. It's like that's where it hurts. Can you kick
yeah,
me there again? Oh, that
yeah,
feels so good.
yeah,
You know.
it.
But
In fact, I think
and
those kids are on the payroll.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's kind of weird. I did not get a whole lot of jet lag getting there or back. Maybe getting there a little bit,
Yeah.
but on the way back, I did not. And I slept minimally. When you sleep 6 hours in 2 days,
Hey,
that's
on the
going to do a
screen
number
here,
on you.
just
Oh yeah, let's talk about
the
gold.
reference here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It probably you probably heard or seen in the last
Mm.
over the weekend from Friday into yesterday,
Yeah.
we had quite the crash in gold and silver, because we talk
Hmm.
about it a lot on the show here,
Yes, we
being that,
do.
our sponsor, Miles Franklin and all that. So
Yes.
we're tied to the precious metals.
Love that
So a
coin.
lot of people were like, just like, see, told you so, never going to touch the things again. I'm out. I'm never going to go, I lost money. I bought it 100 or
Yeah.
110 on silver, and then it plunged to 72. I'm never,
Mm.
well, it was all, I mean, most people in the know are saying this was a manufactured crash, although it was, the
Yeah.
prices had way exceeded the normal, comfortable growth you'd like to see in a price
Yeah.
of an underlying commodity. Things went definitely parabolic in a short
Sure.
period of time. So it was
Yeah.
rife for a correction, but it
An
was
adjustment.
aided and
Yeah.
abetted by
Hmm.
JP Morgan primarily. But
Oh
now
my
it's
God.
kind of like we hit our bottomed out yesterday, started to bounce up, and today we're having a really strong technical
Well, look at
response.
silver.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
the proud beneficiary of a gorgeous Miles Franklin coin. It's
yeah.
oh, there it is. I don't have mine with me. It's in my little safe box, as they say, and I'm looking at the change. That is just insane.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a
10.87%.
rebound. And I
My
think,
God.
honestly, it was kind of like a cleansing process. You really needed
Mm,
to get out all the weak hands, and a lot of
yes.
leverage money
Hmm.
crashed on Friday into Monday.
Yeah,
And now people are kind of reloading the wagon. And also
absolutely.
yesterday, ironically, people don't know this, the Chinese market was closed. Shanghai was closed. So
Mm,
so it was selling off into a vacuum. There was no Chinese demand to help stabilize the price. Well, last night the
yeah.
Chinese market opened, and you can see it's reflected that they're all bargain hunting. They're coming up and snapping
Uh,
up a lot of this stuff really on the cheap.
yeah,
And so as they do anyway, because there's a huge disparity between the paper price, which is the
sure.
Western price, and the
Mm,
actual price for physical when you buy it. And that's what people, the big corporations have to buy physical
yeah,
silver, not paper silver.
absolutely.
So that's kind of
Wow.
one of those things that happened there. Um, I just want to jump around here, find
Yeah,
something.
no, by all means. I mean,
Let's
that's
see.
beautiful.
And of course,
Wow.
we have our affiliation with Miles Franklin,
Yeah, there we are.
and they're
Our little
what
squirrel.
I'm hearing,
Yeah.
and this has been confirmed by
Yeah.
three sources that all
Please.
disparate, all non related, that the
Mm,
retail activity at coin stores, small shops, bullion stores, the
yes.
last really from Friday into yesterday was
Mm,
insane. People were selling out of all their inventory because
wow.
the stackers, that have been following this stuff for years, and watching charts and technicals,
Yeah.
knew that the oversold nature of the price on
Mm,
Friday at its bottom, which was like 71 on silver. I
yeah.
mean, gold fell, Phil, get this, gold fell from
Sure.
5,600, which was
Hmm.
like crazy high, right?
Yeah.
Fell all the way to 4,400 in a matter
Oh
of two
my
days.
God.
It fell 21%. I mean, it's like
Wow.
I mean, that's in some circles that signifies a bear market has just started.
Yeah.
You hit 20%, but now it's bounced back up.
Like
It's sitting well
with
over
abandon.
4,900 right now. So it's
Yeah.
probably going to stabilize, and I think it's going
Sure.
to climb back over 5,000
Oh yeah.
comfortably. And I'm at a more, let's say, measured ascension,
Mm,
as opposed to like just an absolute like moon launch where you're just
yeah.
going straight up for like unnaturally so, and there's just no way to justify it based on, you look at
Mm,
time and money and
yeah.
duration of time, and for something to go up so fast, it just kind of screams it's going to come down just as hard. And that's
Sure. No, of
kind of what
course.
happened. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Miles Franklin, they were swamped. I had our buddy Ian Whalen
Yeah.
actually reached out and
Hmm.
was asked. I shouldn't have said his last name. I apologize.
That's okay.
Maybe Miles can edit that out.
All right.
That he actually was thinking that maybe it'd be time to add to a stack. And I said, well, I'll tell you, so I put a few calls in to see the best deal I get, and they were
Yeah.
just so busy. I mean, people were just
Mm,
like jumping on these low prices, and the
yeah.
premiums are elevated though, which is really
Hmm.
nuts. I mean, the
That's
premium on,
I like that. Really nuts. Get
well,
it? Like mixed
one
nuts.
one Eagle, Silver
Yes.
Eagle, the
Yeah.
premiums from a lot of the competition were up at like 16, $17
Oh my
over the
God.
price of spot.
Wow.
That's Yeah. We were
That's
we were like
expensive.
on our website with Miles Franklin at about 12.
Yeah.
But I spoke to Josh Sheckman, and we could do a lot better than that for
Mm,
our customers. So,
I love
and
that.
that's still the case. So anybody who listens to this podcast and hears it or sees it on YouTube,
Yeah.
on Spotify, and Apple, of course, just reach out to us at mixednuts.com
Yeah.
forward slash, I'm sorry, milesfranklin.com
There you go.
forward slash mixed hyphen nuts, or email me at mixed nuts, the numeral two at yahoo.com. And I will hand you off to one of um, Miles Franklin's
Yeah.
really great sales reps, and they can basically walk you through the process, explain how to open up an account, and
Yeah.
even make some suggestions on probably what the best deals are and specials. So
Wow.
just wanted to just throw that in
Pretty,
for
I'll tell you,
our good friends over there.
when I saw you guys, when I saw you, Sue and Al, and when I received that beautiful Miles Franklin Silver Eagle, I was just so taken aback, like, oh my God, this is incredible. What a lovely gift. I mean, I was just like, I really was speechless. And I was just, full of joy. And it's one of the greatest gifts, like something physical, like something tangible, if you will, that I ever received.
Absolutely.
And I've been collecting coins for a long time, going back to the 1980s. But to have something like that in anyone's collection, that to me is priceless. It really is. It's so
Yeah, I think
beautiful.
of all the silver that I own. I mean,
Yeah.
I do love my Eagles. I have to admit.
Yeah. They're awesome.
I love the Britannias.
Even if you're
Um,
not from Philadelphia, it doesn't matter.
yeah, and but I don't have the
Couldn't
Britannias
resist.
I have are with Queen Elizabeth, not with
Mm.
King Charles.
King,
Happy to say.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's one reason alone why I wouldn't buy any more of those.
I don't blame you.
And
Yeah,
I love the Maple Leafs, although I have
they're
Maple
awesome.
Leafs in the gold.
Yeah,
I don't
some of
have
the
any Maple
Canadian
Leafs.
coins are quite beautiful too, I have to
Oh
say.
yeah, I mean, all these mints do such a
Yeah.
amazing job just with the striking of
Mhm.
the images,
Yeah.
and how they update them frequently. And
Mhm.
again, you don't have to buy like hundreds of these things at a time. Just
Yeah.
you just want to broaden out, have a nice selection. I mean, it's just great it's great conversation pieces. And
Yeah.
of course, if you have any kids or family, you just want to leave them to, and you'll have a really great legacy for them to remember you by. Um,
Absolutely.
and it's just it's an unappreciated
Mhm.
hobby or walk
Yeah.
of life for many.
Yeah.
It's kind of been beaten out of people. They've just kind of been
Oh, yeah.
told that this isn't something you should be delving into because it's,
Mhm.
everyone's fallen in love with investing with their phones and
Yeah.
digital and being able to, in theory, try to make a living just trading and stuff like that. This is
Sure.
more kind of like you buy it and you hold it, you own it. You don't look at to like flip it if it goes up 20%, because
Exactly.
this is sort of like your, we want to say, like I mentioned legacy, but
Legacy.
also
Yeah.
it's just kind of it's something that you can take a certain level of pride in too, because
Absolutely.
this is
I
like
would
something
never
real. They
sell.
pulled it out of
Yeah.
the ground. They forged it, they
Yep.
poured it, they stamped it, they
Yep.
market it, they
Designed it,
deliver it, and
everything.
it
Yep.
sends a message. It's kind of like it has that staying power that
Yeah,
you
and it's
want.
also, you know what? It's constitutional as well. It's legal tender according to the U.S. Constitution. So just to own a piece of Americana like that to me is
Amen.
beautiful and
It used to be
priceless.
like,
And
are we
it,
a realm here at the United States?
yeah, exactly.
We're not supposed to be a realm.
Oh, but no, it's lovely. I just love
Yeah.
it. There's something about old coins or new coins, but even any coin that's silver, really, there's something so beautiful about it. It truly is. So I
Well,
have to get a
as you
protector
know,
for it.
you get the friends and family price, Phil. So
Yes, I
if you
do.
ever
Praise the Lord.
just want to add to your stack, you can certainly
Yeah,
just dabble away, and they'll even kick us a little bit of commission on your purchase, which is nice.
yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
So I was so blessed. What? Thank you. I cannot thank you enough for that. That was like what a surprise. It was beautiful.
On the screen here for those are obviously doing the audio side.
Yeah,
Just a little touch on our good friends at Hunter's Blend. I'm actually
Hunter's
wearing my
Blend
Hunter's
Crafting.
Blend, tea in the harbor
Oh
deal.
wow, I love that.
Haven't worn this in ages,
Mm,
but yeah, they're still plugging away, and Shop
yeah,
Coffee and Shop American,
yeah. Mm, it's beautiful.
stable over there. They're doing, they've gotten through the worst of the tariff situation.
Yeah.
So, huntersblendcoffee.com forward slash,
Mm,
um, nuts. And
yes,
says my internet
and
signal is
UTS.
unstable.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it is. I'm so sorry. I've had that happen too. Luckily, not today.
I think I'm okay. I think we're good. I'm looking at my thing here. I think I have bars.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I'm
Hopefully,
good.
it's not the snow. Is it
But
snowing right
also,
now in Ohio where
it
you're at?
was earlier this morning,
Oh,
and it was
geez.
snowing late last night. I mean, just every day there's a dusting.
Oh,
Just
wow.
never. It
And it's
you
never
know,
going to
it's that
fully
time, and
melt.
you look out every day. It starts out sunny, and then it clouds up, then it snows.
And it
So
snows. My
that
God.
may be the lake. You know.
Yeah, lake effect snow.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Phil, I wanted to mention something real quick
Sure.
that happened in my personal life here,
Oh, yeah,
and it
please.
was actually quite. I mean, my I was back in Pennsylvania last week because my sister was in the
Mm.
hospital,
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
and she's okay. She came
Thank
through it. She
God.
had a couple of procedures. It's
Yeah.
related to her heart and everything like that.
Oh, jeez.
But she's home and she's kind of like back to herself. But as fate should have it,
Mm.
the day before I was leaving to come back to Ohio,
Yeah.
my son's father-in-law had a massive heart attack
Oh,
shoveling
God.
snow and collapsed.
Oh,
And But as you know, the good Lord provided. There
yeah.
were a couple of CMT guys that were in the area.
Thank God.
One of their neighbors is a dermatologist who
Mm.
was out there shoveling his driveway. Saw is he my in-law? I don't know what would be your son's father-in-law to you if you I mean I want to call him
Oh,
my in-law, but he's like my
yeah.
son's father-in-law. So I'll just call him
Yeah.
my in-law, Tom.
In-law.
He has a
Tom.
name. His name is Tom.
Tom.
And
Okay.
so Tom, yeah, he was in rough shape. They said
Mm.
that he had a widowmaker and that he only had a
Oh,
12% chance of surviving
oh,
the event in itself that day, but they got to him and they performed
quickly.
CPR
Mm.
and had the
Stent
paddles of
or
life
something.
there,
Oh,
and they
wow.
shocked him and they kept him alive. They got him to the hospital and they stabilized him. I saw him that night,
Mm.
and then 3 days later he had triple bypass surgery on his heart because
Wow.
he has significant heart disease,
Oh,
and
boy.
he's okay. He's alive. He's alive, right?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
he's aware, and they had him sitting up, and he will be doing some therapy for a number of weeks, I'm sure, just to
Mm.
stabilize him. And I'm just very thankful and blessed that he made it through. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, my son loves him to death.
Mm.
And of course, our grandchild in common. Once I want him to know his grandfather.
Yeah.
I don't because I lost my grandmother died on my mother's side 2 months before I was born, so I never met my
Oh,
grandmother,
wow.
my
I never
mother's
met my
mother,
grandfather on my mother's
and
side
my
either.
son never met his grandmother either because my
Mm.
mother died when she was 52, and of course
Mm.
I had him much later
Wow,
in
that's
life.
young.
So he can sort of really he didn't want that happening,
Oh.
but last night on the news, the local news, they did a really nice story about
Mm.
how these two guys were heroes, the
Yeah.
CMTs that were there, and my my son's mother-in-law, Tina, was
Yeah.
on there, and just just speaking their virtue about these people, how
Yeah.
wonderful they were, how they were on Johnny on the spot, saved his life, got him to the
Yeah.
hospital, and yeah, I mean, and my my grandson was on TV, which is kind of cute, you know.
Yeah.
But
That is pretty
in this
amazing.
grant market, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I know
Yeah.
some of the folks that listen to this will know this happened, but I just wanted
Yeah.
to just
I've shoveled snow in my life, and it is physically very taxing. When I was much younger, and I
yeah
remember I was in Virginia for work. I was actually working on a Christmas tree lot, and I remember where I was staying. They had about 8 inches of snow. It was just a lot of it, and you're just trying to clear the area, but you feel your heart beating so fast
yeah.
when you're
Well,
shoveling that, and it's you have to be so careful. You really
well,
do. And
without a doubt, it's
I've
probably one of the
lifted
leading
dead weight,
causes of heart attacks this time of year.
Yeah,
It's like probably the if not the number one, number two,
yeah,
um, doing the actual act of shoveling snow.
yeah, it is.
And whew, boy, because I know from just being out and when it was 5 degrees one morning,
Oh,
wind
jeez.
chill, it was 10 below, and I'm with the
Oh,
snow blower, and I got the main body of my driveway done. I didn't bother
yeah.
with the sidewalks because I had a twinge like right in my heart, right in my chest,
Oh,
and I was bundled up, and it was just brutal. And I'm
oh,
64, and
yeah.
I went inside. I said to Sue, I just had a twinge. I stopped. I said, that's it. I don't give a shit about the
Yeah,
rest of the driveway,
I don't blame you.
sidewalks, you
Yeah.
know,
You know,
slip and
when,
fall, let it happen. I don't care. Slip and fall, whatever,
you know, I've, like I said, lifted Christmas trees dead weight. And when you're in an assembly line and you've got a tree that's bundled up and then you have to carry it on your shoulder and then you have to drill a hole at the bottom of the tree so it could stand on a spike and then you can, cut the banting or the wiring.
Yeah.
It's that is also taxing, but nothing like shoveling snow. It's a
No.
great workout. You wake up at 5 a.m., you're there, it's below freezing.
Oof.
You're there for 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're done, you're at your location at 10 o'clock and you just want to sleep. And you can't
Yeah.
help it. You're just so tired. And the
Yeah.
cold weather doesn't help either.
No, and the
So,
one thing that people need to remember too is you have to stay hydrated because your
oh my
body
God.
is
Yeah.
working so hard to maintain heat,
Yeah.
and you burn through so much energy just
Yes, you do.
standing there, not even lifting a finger. Your
Mhm.
body is working harder than it
Yes,
would be at a normal temperature.
correct.
So that's something to.
I do not miss that. When I was much younger, I enjoyed it. Physically, it was a challenge. And yeah, I would be in the best shape of my life. You do that for 3.5 weeks, you burn calories, you burn your reserves, and you're just in great shape. And there isn't anything I couldn't have done. I mean, that's how it felt.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's a young man's game. There's
Oh,
no
no
way I
doubt.
could even do that at my
Yeah.
age at 57. I'll be 58 later this year in July. So there's no way I could do that. It just would be way too much.
No, I think it's time for the machines and maybe the robots to take over the snow removal.
Yeah.
Now,
AI.
I will happily welcome the robots for that job. You want to get the
They
robots out
may.
there?
Yeah. You just hope that the AI robots don't malfunction and all of a sudden they take the snowblower into a house, God forbid. That stuff has crossed my mind too.
Yeah, you don't want robots playing pranks on you,
Yeah, but you know what?
Smart ass robot.
Keep in mind when you have a snowblower driver, they control everything from inside. There you go. Subscribe, please. Don't forget. Thank you for that. But keep in mind it's warm in that snowblower. They have the heat
Not doing
on.
that to
Oh no,
distract
no,
you
it's
from
okay.
it. I'm just figuring if anybody was
So,
watching.
I would rather have a human being operate that snowblower because it is a service.
Yeah.
It gives them a job, and that's something that I think I would appreciate more than an AI bot taking over.
Well, better to do snow removal than deliver food, as you may have seen that story about the Uber Eats robot that got stuck on the train tracks down there in Florida, and it
Oh
got totally
God,
just it got sent into the next county.
Millennium.
Apparently,
Wow,
yeah, that was pretty
amazing.
funny. It was all over the news and stuff.
Jeez, I have to
Yeah,
look for
so.
that one. I haven't seen that, but wow,
Well, at
that's
least,
surprising.
it kind of like made the gig drivers feel a little bit relieved that, well, I guess we're not going to be displaced or replaced anytime soon
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the damn robots can't go over train tracks, apparently.
It's unbelievable. Boy, that's something.
Yeah.
There's only so much they can do. Doesn't matter how much you prepare them. Like I said, AI is a vessel. Yes, it can be created, it can do some very good things, but there are things that humans can do infinitely better than AI. And one of them is performing
Yeah.
live. When you're doing a show, it does make a huge difference, when you have a
Yeah.
live
Oh, I agree.
audience.
Well, I
And
mean, I'm happy to say, Miles mentioned our guy here
mm,
at Pod Populi. Pod Populi, again, is our platform that we
yeah,
produce this podcast out of. Um, Miles has
mm,
implored, is that the word, implored?
oh,
Or
it
just
depends how
made
it's
use of
depends on the
Chat
context.
GPT
Oh,
to
wow.
write some of the descriptions and notes from our
Utilized.
podcast,
Yeah.
which I guess he plays the podcast into Chat GPT, and then
Okay.
it comes up with a summary
Uh,
of what we discussed in the topics, and then it
yeah.
spits out the notes.
Mm,
And my
I
God, I mean,
see.
I'm lazy. I mean, when it comes to like doing that for the podcast,
I
I'll
get that
throw a
on
couple of
emails.
cursory things there. And you should read the notes from the podcast. I mean,
Oh,
it's
I
really
can
amazing.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, very thorough. So
Well,
I'm giving my approval for you to do so again, Miles. I'm sure you're listening. Go
yeah.
ahead and do it up with Chat
Chat
GPT.
GPT.
Yeah,
Well, here's what's interesting, because even regular emails that I may send someone, it could be someone incredibly dear to me, it could be a client, it could be whomever, and Chat GPT is right there. They will summarize the entire email, whether I wanted them to do so or not.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit Big Brother-esque for me, quite frankly. I can think for myself. Thank you, ChatGPT. Yes, I'm sure ChatGPT can do a lot of good things, but
Hmm.
I would rather be creative. If I'm going to write a screenplay in the future with someone or, whatever the case is, I want to do it and bounce off someone. I don't want to just rely on AI and say, hey, AI, can you write this screenplay for me? I just find there's a little bit of a lackadaisical effort on that front. I see it
Well,
as a tool. Yes, it
I
can fine
yeah.
tune what you're writing, but I would rather come up with the original concept and write it out myself rather than relying on AI.
Well, I appreciate that it is taking um, the content that
Yeah,
I created and then just again summarizes it and
yeah,
uses what was said, not replacing what I've said
correct.
or
Yeah,
necessarily even adding to what I've said, but just kind of tightening it up in in a way that has a kind of a better flow than I honestly would make the effort to do because
yeah,
I was reading and saying, wow, this is really well written. I wish I had wrote it.
sure.
but
Yeah,
I can't take credit for it.
yeah,
But hey, look, if you can use machines, I mean, to
right.
better mankind.
Mhm.
Of course, that's what this podcast is about, right?
Absolutely.
Trying
Exactly.
to better mankind, or
Better mankind. There you go. Very cool. Oh my gosh. Wow.
yes, in a fevered wet dream, I suppose. Uh, but anyway,
Had
and
a few of those in my life.
there are so many. Yes.
Not lately, but
Well,
well, who am I
all had
kidding?
our moments. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I'm gonna try to kick Al Knight, our buddy Al Knight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to promote his website, his podcast
Okay.
until it is actually in existence.
Mm.
He is our friend from the radio,
Yep. And we
and
got to see him.
apparently he's
It was
got three already in the can
wow.
that he's done,
Okay.
but he has no intro. That
I would help him. I'd love to help him.
Yeah,
If
you
he's
kind of have to
listening,
have an intro.
I would
Um,
say, Al, bring me in. I'll voice it. I would love to. It'd be an honor. I mean that sincerely. He's been very
yeah,
helpful to me,
I
especially
just I
when I
want I
was at
just
the
want him
radio
to get
station.
it going so that it's up so we can hear it,
Yeah.
share it,
And
send it to
share it.
people we know, and say, hey, this is
Hmm.
our buddy Al Knight, and he's got a
Yep.
thing called
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's on Pod Populi as well.
Yes.
Honestly, it's really not his fault. They need to Miles. Well, I already spoke to Miles. He
Yeah.
needs to send an email down to his buddy down there. I think it's
Hmm.
Ryan down there in Florida, and
Oh,
just like let's get break the seal on this baby, get it running, and then
yeah.
just kind of so then Al can then just do his thing, and every Tuesday it'll drop, and then
Yes.
we can make fun of it and,
Hmm.
give him
Yeah.
shit
Nothing wrong with that.
like I'm known to do, and
Yeah.
just have a laugh about it, and then we'll just kind of
Sure.
we'll have him on once in a while, and he
Yeah.
can sit there and I know he wants to have us on, or maybe if not together individually when our schedules allow.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And I told him that. I made it very clear up front. I said, Al, whenever you're ready, call me. I know if I know a day or two in advance, I will drive to Boca. I'll meet you there and I'll be on the air with you. We'll get a picture together and everything, and we'll just, shoot the shit, as they say.
I've even promised, or
Nothing
I've
nice is
proposed that
terrible.
I will call into the Brian Craig show,
Oh,
and I will do like a shtick thing, a bit there where I'm
mm,
going to surreptitiously, there's the word,
yeah,
do a commercial for his podcast,
yeah,
so that all the people that are listening, all those gray-haired,
yeah,
MAGA people that
right.
listen to Brian Craig religiously, will all
Yeah.
tune into Al Knight and
Mm,
listen to his
let's
nonsense
hope.
for 40 minutes.
There you go. I think Al will do just fine.
Oh, Al is the consummate professional. He
Yeah,
is
he is.
he is an actual radio
Yes, he
guy.
is.
When
Yes, he
you
is.
I mean when you hear him on the radio, I mean he's
You
on the
know it.
weekends. Well, we'll plug. He's on oldies, whatever, the
Yeah,
oldies channel.
it's
And
distinctive voice.
yeah, he has good delivery. He has a good
And you know what?
style and
Richie's
sound.
the best thing on that radio station. He really
Yeah, I
is.
mean
Nothing
I think he's the only
compares.
thing live there. Everything
If I'm
else
not
is just
mistaken, his
strictly pre-recorded and piped
pre-recorded,
in.
yeah. It's like
Other
canned.
than the pay for
Oh
program.
yeah, exactly. The
That stuff is live.
brokered talent, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on bigger stations
Oh
in the
God,
market.
yeah. way
and
back in the
but
day.
he's never
Sure.
really been able to do it full time
Mm,
and make a good living off of. He's done it
significantly.
kind of
That's
as a
hard.
fly, what do you call moonlighting kind
Radio,
of.
understand this, Rich. Radio is so unstable. You could be on the air one day, which I was doing afternoon drive for a month, and then all
Yeah,
of a sudden, the format changes and the radio station changes hands, and then you're taken off the air immediately. And I had an ex that was on radio for 15 years at one specific station, and she had great ratings, and everyone else at the station had great ratings. And then they brought them all in, and the GM or PD, the program director, said, "You have 5 minutes to clear your desk. We're changing formats," and that's how it is.
something I
It's very
said.
cold and calculated. Yeah, it's. I had the same thing. I had literally 5 minutes to get out. I had to send some PSAs over, and of course, as the production manager at the time, I made sure I had a copy of it. Thank God. I was
Yeah,
really good at getting copies of my
I think
work.
it's a medium where there's just very, very, very few
Yeah, that
programs.
can
And
make
like
it.
the ESPN, they have their
Yeah,
franchise, so they had that nationwide thing, but there are just very few things on the radio that make money.
yeah,
They're just not profitable, and they don't pay a lot. And
true.
you just have to be a talent, an upsized talent in any
Yeah.
market. And of course, if you can go nationwide,
Oh my God.
syndication. But really, honestly, it's all about streaming.
Hmm.
Streaming is really, I mean, there's so many people that are making amazing money streaming,
Oh, good.
whether it's
Yeah.
live on YouTube,
Yeah.
X. Now they're doing X there, and
Yeah.
there's Rumble for the conservative side,
Sure.
and there's a bunch of smaller, places as well. Even on Substack, like Kerry Lutz, a guy that I know
Oh yeah.
down in Florida, he
From
is
Jersey,
coming.
right?
He's doing a live broadcast on Substack today.
Hmm.
First one he's doing is his first. He did a little test run yesterday, but it's his inaugural live on Substack.
Yeah.
We have a Substack channel there as well for
Yeah.
Mixed Nuts.
Hmm.
It's very, very small, doesn't do much.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to go there and find us, you can.
Sure.
I put all the podcasts in there as well, and I
Yeah.
make a few comments during the day, and I comment on other people's content.
Yeah.
So, but just to throw that out there. I
So
mean, we're
Al,
trying to get multi-platform here.
yeah, and if Al, if you're listening, which I hope you are, we look forward to promoting the show and
Yeah.
also both being on it, whether together or separately or individually, however you want.
Mhm.
But my invitation is always open. And if he says, Philip, I need you to come on a Thursday night or a Wednesday, I'll do so. Whatever time he wants me to be there, I will be there. So just thought I'd put it out there for good measure.
Yeah, and I think there's a possibility you could probably do a remote like this too. It
Oh,
might
yeah,
be,
easily,
yeah,
easily. But I don't mind being there in person. There's something about bouncing off each other. And all three of us were great. It was so much fun when it was
oh,
Face Radio
yeah,
way back in the day. That was a great, great evening.
yeah. That's
Never
a great
forget that.
studio. It's a great area.
Oh, yeah,
It's
totally. I
fun,
love
fun,
the
fun to
area.
drive in there and walk around
It
the
is. And,
plaza
the
there.
parking can be a little chaotic, but if you get there early, you grab a bite and then you
Yeah,
just do the podcast and then you leave. And that's how things were when I was at the radio station. My Friday nights were incredible. I got to thank you for that because, I was pretty down in the dumps in terms of how the station, where it was going, in terms of the direction. I was off the air and I felt like a fish out of water, but you gave me that opportunity on Friday nights to shine. And it was something I'll never forget. That's what really got me through those 2.5 months under the last owner I worked with, who I shall not say his name. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Well, honestly, if
Yeah.
fate
Rhymes with prick.
goes goes the way I'd like it to, that
Yeah,
I hope that we can be down there again.
sure.
If
God willing.
hopefully at that location. There's
Yeah.
other ones in the area, but that would be a nice thing to do
Oh,
again
while you're in
from
town?
there.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love that.
I liked sitting at it was just, plus I had other options. I had a lot of my paraphernalia that I would set up, and
Mm,
I did a lot of we didn't want to show prep, you want to call it,
yeah.
every week. And my
Mm.
wife commented that those early shows that we did were so much better than the stuff that we've been able to, just
Oh,
because of whether it's proximity or
oh
the
my
the
God. Yeah,
use
we
of being able
bounced
to
off
plug
each
into
other.
the
Yeah,
console and all that, you
yeah.
know. But
Hmm.
that was always kind of a nice thing, and being able to put the sound effects in and just kind of we'd hear it in our cans, but it would not
Oh, you
cast
froze up.
and
Oh,
the
okay.
YouTube version, what
Yeah,
we'd say. But in
sure.
person, you wouldn't hear it necessarily. But
Yeah.
but
But
just one of
anyways,
those little things, little
to be
inside
continued,
baseball
as they say.
technicalities.
Yeah, God willing. I
Yeah.
look forward to that in the future for sure.
Yeah. So
Uh,
now there's a lot of interesting stuff that's happened in the world, but I think we'll probably save that for another podcast because I know
that
you
works for
probably have
me.
to run.
Yeah, I do. I
Oh,
have to.
but
Yes.
I wanted to give you a chance to talk about this new
Yeah.
role that you've been cast for. That sounds really,
Oh,
really exciting.
yeah. I can't get into all the specifics yet, but it kind of came out of the blue. It's someone I worked with before. He's got a nice YouTube presence and social media, and he's someone I met, believe it or not, through Craigslist. And so I worked with him a few times. He knows who I am. And then all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, like recently, this past few days, I'm getting cast in a production playing a priest. And I think it looks like it's a futuristic
Right.
um, project. And I always liked being a part of something like that. And I've been fascinated by the prepper world, survivalists, if you will, people who live in the wilderness, who are able to make something out of nothing, who have perhaps the skill to survive stronger than, well, let's just say their will to survive is stronger than their skill to survive. In some cases, it's the reverse, or it's a combination of both. So, based on the image and how it looks, I'm thinking this has got to be a post apocalyptic project where I do play a priest. And it should be a lot of fun, very challenging, but I'm excited to be a part of that. So, as soon as I have more info, I will certainly let you know. But
What
it
and didn't you
happened
also
so
do
quickly.
you did a an animation
Oh,
thing that
yeah.
was kind of futuristic also. You were you had a very
Yeah.
prominent role in one of those.
Yes, I did. There were one of them was called Stereochroma, and it was really interesting. And well, the channel is called Umami. It's on
Right.
YouTube. It's Canadian animation, very futuristic. And now there's a new series called Safe Mode that I've already voiced a couple of episodes in. But the other one, I played Mr. Greetings, and that was my character, kind of almost like the same kind of voice. And now I'm the administrator, where he's kind of similar to Mr. Greetings, if not the same character. So it's kind of cool how I think when we did that, the Stereochroma, it was 24 episodes within several years. And now I've done a couple of episodes within the last couple of years or so. And at a certain point, there's going to be another appearance. So it doesn't happen as often now, but whenever he
Yeah.
reaches out to me, I'll say, yeah, let's do it. I'll get it done this weekend. And now that my studio is fully available for whatever projects, it's not a problem. I try to do a couple of different takes just to give the client or whoever I'm voicing for having an option. I think that does help. And if I have to re-record something, it's no big deal. I don't have to do the setup. I'm already set up. I just got to turn on my computer. So it's pretty cool. And then, they PayPal you. And that's how it all works. But yeah, futuristic animation is kind of cool. It's kind of dark a little bit, but it really thinks outside the box. And his animation is just off the charts creative. I've
Yeah,
never,
exactly. You're really not limited by, I
oh
mean,
my God.
anything in the future,
Yeah,
you don't know where
I
we're going as
love
a,
it.
transhumanism and all that
That
stuff.
is true. And his stuff is just, it does make you think. It's really outside the box.
Yeah.
And he takes it to a different realm entirely. And I'm such a fan of his work. I mean, I was lucky. I was voicing a project for a YouTube channel that no longer exists. Not voicing. I starred as a quote unquote, I wouldn't say a preacher, but someone that was, you know, I guess you could say he was reliving a very painful incident, if you will. And I had that, I guess that Southern swagger that was a part of my voice, almost like a televangelist. And he saw me in it and he said, I'm interested in hiring this guy. He's got the perfect voice for this project I'm doing. And then they reached out to me. Hey, would you be interested if I gave your information to someone who subscribes to me? He produces Canadian animation. I said, absolutely. And the rest is history. So it's pretty incredible. I was just so lucky at the time to be in the right place at the right time. So
So the new project, will that be something you'll be on location somewhere in Canada? Yeah.
no, well, the one where I'm playing a priest, it might be on location here in Southern Florida,
Oh, oh, better. Okay.
or it might be in studio. with a green screen and AI, I would assume, to help enhance the imaging. That's at least what I would think. But it's going to be mostly shot in southern Florida, I would think. That hasn't been revealed to me yet. But hey, if I have to go up to Canada, that's okay too. I'd rather shoot local. I don't want to be stuck in airports. It's not fun, and especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So I'm quite certain it's going to be shot locally,
Yeah.
wherever we go. So we'll find out. Maybe Alligator Alley, who knows, somewhere. So I'll keep you posted for sure. But yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't have anything that exciting going on in my life.
Yeah, well, shoveling snow is not boring. I can tell you that. It's not easy. But
that's nothing you want to see on film.
yeah,
Trust me.
snow blowers are interesting because sometimes neighbors say, let's chip in, let's get a snow blower. When I'm out of town, you can do snow removal on my property and vice versa. And I think it's kind of a good thing to do, and it saves money. And so, yeah, you have to do that.
Well, one thing I've been thinking, well, if we ever did the snowbird thing,
yeah,
and we got a place, obviously I just can't let the snow fall on my driveway and let it pile up. So I'd have to find somebody. I'd have to
locally,
find like a local neighborhood kid that I could,
of course,
give like, 30, $40 just to do
and
it.
let him do it.
Yeah.
We used to rake leaves as kids, different era ago, and you get paid cash, or you'd mow lawns. I mean, that's how things used to be.
And I'm happy to say it doesn't really take long to do my driveway. I mean, it's shorter than the one I had we moved from, and it's a little bit more narrow. It's only a 2-lane. We had 3 lanes because we had a parking spot area. There's just more crap to blow,
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Really, if it's just a light dusting and it's 30 degrees out, it's no problem. But when it's like
if you have 8
0,
inches,
then I have to really question, like, do I want this to be my last act on this planet?
God
after
forbid.
Especially what happened to Tom. I mean, it's right in front of my brain, thinking about it every time I step outside now about that. So,
wow. Well, it was a lot of fun.
Knock wood for Tom.
Yeah, my voice is exactly sending thoughts and prayers, and like I said, my voice definitely sounds like I could be doing the midnight shift.
Yes.
Right now, I've got that Wolfman Jack kind of sound going. So it's like Wolfman Jack here playing some of your favorite classic oldies. So, anyways, it is what it is. Gotta let the voice heal.
Yeah. Drink some chamomile tea or tea with honey or just something just to soothe.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Vocal
for
cords
sure.
a little bit,
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, I do appreciate you coming on today.
Of course, absolutely. A lot to talk about, especially with travels and the nightmare. But the best advice, again, I can give to anyone, even if you book your flight, keep it. It may cancel, which, by the way, happened to me. I didn't say that part. I omitted it by accident. My flight to PBI canceled while I was on standby, and then getting bumped up to fly. And I even told them, guys, my flight to PBI canceled. Let's do this right away, please. And they did. So, wow. Getting choked up thinking about it.
Okay, my friend. Well, I want, to rest that voice.
Oh yeah, I will.
I know it's your moneymaker.
My moneymaker, exactly. So. And this too. So there you go. Yeah, and
me not so much.
And también mi tetas.
My money loser.
Duff, please come on. You got this, man. It's all good. You could play a senator or a congressman. Who knows? Anything's possible. Or a doctor. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Anyways, we will see you, God willing, next week, and we look forward to it.
Same time, same channel, same podcast, Pod Populi, and all
exactly.
That happy horse shit. And everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all the other platforms.
Yeah.
Too many to mention, but your viewing is appreciated, and
your viewership, as they say.
Exactly, viewership, and
thank you, your lordship.
It's never taken for granted, that's for sure. Yes. So we'll see you next time, and I wish you all a great rest of your week, whichever week it is.
Exactly, and don't let it be weak, whatever you do.
Hunter's Blend Coffee, premium coffee for freedom-loving Americans. Many coffee importers view the world very differently than you do, and would support lobbyists that fight against the Second Amendment, hunting, and our God-given freedoms. No matter where you buy your coffee or who roasts it, Someone had to import the green coffee beans. Well, we are the coffee buyer, importer, and roaster. So from the farmer to your mug, you can feel confident that your morning coffee has been safely in the hands of patriots. Hunter's Blend Coffee.